Salutations. We are back. This is the panel for today. It's a two-man. It's Sunday Spotlight. It's your boy Shad Talks Graps. To the what is it? To the right of me is go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Plug Funny, aka Dryzzy, is in the building on this beautiful Sunday night. We got the spotlights out. It is, like I said, we're running a two-man weave tonight. It's we got this today. Y'all need
Yeah,
all
for
of that
sure.
fluff.
Nah, for sure. It definitely is a busy time of the year, with the new year happening. Um, First and foremost, we just gotta say it like this, man. Welcome to Sunday Spotlight. It is us two. Clark, bro is doing this thing on the daily. He live out in
Mm,
Cali, and we want to all obviously give our
definitely.
thoughts and prayers to everyone out in Southern California. It looks crazy out there, man. So many people losing their homes, being in tough situations. Definitely put our prayers out for them. And
Mm.
we told bro, hey man, you gotta, you handle what you gotta handle. Luckily, he's all good and safe. Obviously, I've seen him on the daily. He's good, but we're here to handle the Sunday spotlight. And
Mm.
we got a good episode, man. This is a standard episode. Last week we gave y'all the first interview of the year. Salute to the top one, Mr. Amazing. Uh got a couple more interviews in the cut that are coming up too. So keep rocking with us. But we want to give y'all the first standard episode because we got to go back to our roots, man. We want to spotlight everything in professional wrestling. That is just not WWE. That is just not AEW. That is all of pro wrestling. And last week was quite an eventful week out there in Japan. So we got a couple people on the docket that we will be spotlighting. And I think we just kick it off. Drizzy, I want to ask you, man, who is the first person that you want to spotlight this week?
First things first, we gotta talk amazing stuff about Wrestle Kingdom. No, it's not what it once was. It ain't got your katas and everything, but they are doing a great job over there creating stars. That's one thing I've got to say about them. Like they have lost a lot over the years, but it has not slowed down their momentum at all. They have found ways to create new people. They've found ways to train new people and get them up into the main event scene. And for the first person I'm spotlighting, Batman's definitely hurdled all the way into the main event scene. Do not be surprised if you start seeing him in G1 Classics and everything. I'm gotta give it up for Gabe Kidd, somebody who is very new to me in this aspect of it. I watch New Japan periodically. There's so much stuff to watch over here. It's hard to keep up with it on a weekly basis, but Gabe Kidd is definitely on my radar now. I was already ready to check him out when we found out he was going against Kenny Omega, and the way that he built this matchup, we haven't heard too much from Kenny throughout the process of it till toward maybe the last couple of months. But Gabe Kidd had, for the better part of it, has been carrying that feud. He was the one making all the claims. He was the one running his mouth, and he put so much passion into it. And by the time we got to the match well, it was Saturday night, early Saturday night morning for me, because I actually stayed up to watch it live. But my man's legit. He put his heart and soul out there. You have like I think people think it was a joke seeing Tanahashi crying about it. It was beautiful. It legit was beautiful. A tear did well up in my eye. You very subtly see wrestling that just hits your heart and hits your soul like that. And Gabe Kidd put on such a performance that I don't see how you can just turn a blind eye to what he's doing right now. New Japan Pro Wrestling has a diamond in the rough with him, and I'm really hoping they do everything in their power to keep people like him. Um, is it Clark Connors?
Yeah.
Clark Connors, David Finley, that core of guys that came out of the New Japan dojo because they're all kind of cut from that same cloth. Such good workers. Please do everything in your power to keep them because the more that they have great workers, it pushes everybody else to be better over here. When New Japan's great, WWE's great. When WWE's great, AEW's great. Iron sharp as iron, y'all. And Gabe Kidd has been sharpened to perfection. Let's start getting him in the G1s. Let's start giving him more classic matches.
Bro, and I agree with you 100%. Obviously, Gabe Kidd, someone who came up on my radar probably, I'd say last year, right? I'm not going to act like I was completely familiar with him throughout the entire process, but he's someone that I got familiar with. And the reason I like him a lot is to what you said, bro. It's the aspect of he is a storyteller because he doesn't shy away of just talking his talk on a mic. Like he ain't afraid to it. He as a fan, you feel invested when he sells you a promo and when he builds up to a story. And like you said, Kenny Omega sold the ticket because this was his return to New Japan, return back after a while to pro wrestling. We was already locked in to see him, but it's who he was going against, right? What is the opponent bringing to the table? Why should we want to see the whole match in totality? And I think he delivered, 100%, like you said, bro. Like he made you invested. And the reason I like him a lot too is because he just remind me of these rascals in the UK, man. Like these grime rappers talking all that slang, right? Got a potty mouth on them.
Like they said, that's the beauty of the overseas. You can say pretty much whatever you want because a lot of those words don't translate over there. And plus, they censoring system a little bit crazy over there too. Cause shit that flies over there is crazy. But he just you feel it. I have this argument with Ben a lot because on here we are limited to a lot of the things that we can say, but
Sure enough.
sometimes you got to be able to let that passion out, and sometimes that passion comes out in cuss words,
Oh
and
yeah.
call them sense enhancers. But
Yeah.
it's you feel it sometimes. You just kind of let it just roll off, and when you feel it and you let it roll off, it translates. Normal people are saying that stuff. Like normal people are cussing in their conversations. It doesn't take anything away from them, but he, they let it
And,
roll.
yeah, he it's believability, right? I think believability is something that as a fan, you really lock in when you want to go for a professional wrestler. And when I say that, I don't mean you gotta be the toughest guy in the room or the biggest, thug out there. Like that's not what I'm trying to say. But I'm saying more so like you're believable within yourself. Like this character, like a person like Danhausen, the believability is there because he's so goofy to his own character. And with this aspect of Gabe Kidd, like he got that like Conor McGregor type of feel to him, right? Where
Mhm.
he's just talking cash shit all the time. And the match was amazing. Like
Yes.
that match was a story, a movie, all of it in a 40-minute segment. Match of the year out the gate. I know the year just
Yes.
started, but that sets the bar. Horace, like it is far up in the sky right now. They set the bar high, and
Yeah.
that's credit to him too, man. Like
Another
this
I would say
is gonna
another
be
thing I
Kenny's
really
year.
love another thing that I really do love about him is he was put in that position for a reason. And he saw the opportunity and it wasn't nothing they wasted. It's nothing he wasted. He went after it. He was
Yeah,
put in that spot and said, "You're gonna go in there with the best bout machine, so you can't slouch." And he did not slow down. He didn't slouch. In fact, he didn't shy away from it at all. He stood there, stood up, and yo, give me the ball, and I'm taking it.
I'm taking it.
Everybody, come on, let's go, heads up. And I love
Yeah, yeah.
that. You want
No,
somebody hungry like that in your wrestling.
I mean, bro, you think about it like that. Getting a match against Kenny Omega at a Wrestle Kingdom is like getting a
Oh,
WrestleMania match against The Rock.
yes,
like,
like you in the
it,
main event, like you on the
yeah,
posters. Like
yeah,
that is
and
exactly what that is.
like you said, that shows that they got a strong belief in him. That's a dude who is going to be a rising star in 2025, as young as he is and as he's developing. Yeah, like you said, you got to make sure you can keep him. He talks that he has a lot of commitment to New Japan, so I do hope they can keep him. But like that's someone I would not want. have slipped out of my hands if I was there.
Oh, definitely. Like I can't fumble that one. He is like I see it as we're talking about it. I just see Wrestle Kingdom posters. He's all over him. Him, Yujiro, shit. I'm blanking on a lot of their names, but I'm not gonna say Takahashi because Takahashi been on there for a while. But there's just so many guys. Sergio Soto, Mox's
Shoto
kid.
Umino?
Yeah, Mox's kid.
Yeah,
Him.
yeah,
I gotta
he's
stop calling
good.
him Mox. I gotta stop calling him Mox's kid, but he is Mox's kid. But like
He's
they
good.
have so many good names that they have built now. Gabe Kid is at the forefront of it, and like they'll be fine. I know so many people sit there and talk about that main event in Wrestle Kingdom and everything, and that the real main event was the Kenny Omega match. A lot of it was that's true, but a lot of it was more because of Gabe Kidd and what he brought to that match, in opposed
Hmm.
to just getting Kenny Omega's return.
Yeah. No, that is 100% true, bro. And I'm definitely excited to see what he continues to do. Uh he might be my favorite, like just British wrestler. He's from the UK, right? Don't quote me. I believe he's British.
I hope
Um,
so. He
yeah,
might be
and I
another one of
think
those another Australian that we didn't know about.
yo, Chaos need to like see if he could rap, and he need to get him on a track for one of his beats. I feel like bro could rap. He got that.
He
He
probably
got
can,
that.
he got something in there. He got something in them. He got something up there. I know he do. He got a
He.
fresh 16. He got a fresh 16.
I like him, man. I'm definitely excited to see what he does. All right, let's stay within that weekend of professional wrestling, man. And I do want to talk about the other aspect of the Japanese wrestling scene, and that is in Stardom. And Stardom had a show that weekend for the New Year's. And man, there was a wrestler that I did not know about watching the show, and I walked away being a big fan where I had to do my research. And the wrestler that I'm going to be talking about is the star from Stardom's New Year Dream show, Chi Chi. Yes, Chi Chi. She is the Sendai Girls Junior Champion, and she had a banger match against an Aya Sakura singles match. The show had a lot of multi-women matches. This was the one lone singles match they had. And bro, this girl is a gem out of gems when it comes to professional wrestling. She walks out. She's in the pink cowgirl Barbie costume, and her theme song is literally "I'm a Barbie girl," and it's like she has the very kawaii look to her. It's really adorable, man, and it's dope. But then you hear the bell ring, and this girl can really freaking go. She had a banger match. She's got a match coming up in a couple weeks, defending the title again. And the reason I need to spotlight her is because she's so new into pro wrestling. I believe she's been nodded as like a rookie. I think she's been wrestling for a year or two. Don't quote me, but I know it's relatively new into the landscape of it. And she's very young, obviously, into the within her age. But this is someone that's got a sense of like charisma that you can't really teach in pro wrestling. Like she walks out there, gets big pop, feels like a star. Obviously, they look at her as a young star because they've put in the belt on her, but she can really go. Like, works at Joshi style, super snug with her striking, can grab, powerful suplexes, the whole 9 yards. She's got it all. And this is someone that I walked away like, man, I just really like it. It's the same aspect that I see with someone like a Rio, where it's an underdog in a way, where you see a person that's smaller, not as a bigger, imposing threat, but you walk away like, yo, they're larger than life. It's got a Rey Mysterio aspect to it, right? Like we grew up watching the little guy, and he overcome beating some of the 7-footers in the industry. She's got that type of moxie to her persona, so I think she's an absolute gem. Chi Chi, man, she is officially someone who I will be, riding the bandwagon for. I just think she's absolutely dope. someone that if you want to get into Joshi wrestling and stardom, someone that you could kind of, sink your teeth in and really be a fan of out the gate. So salute to her, man. Salute to her opponent too. Both women had an incredible match, but I gotta go with the Champski Chi-Chi, bro. And obviously, come on, Chi-Chi, like Dragon Ball Z. You're talking about, right?
That's probably something that we probably that's reaching for endorsements, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure of it. I'm not as familiar with all of the Joshis, but this is a similar way that I got into Maki Ito because I'm
Yes.
a big Maki Ito fan for a lot of those same reasons. She comes in one way, and you see she translates off the screen. She just has this energy it just pulls you in. So I'm definitely gonna be looking for Chi Chi. And she sounds like she is another Rey Mysterio. Look, and them girls over in the Joshi, they don't respect necks over there. They do
They
not
don't.
respect your neck.
They
They
don't.
will break it in a heartbeat and keep going. It-
Oh,
the, some of the toughest wrestlers in the world are the Joshi women. Like, yeah,
yeah, bro.
they're-
I tell you this, and we'll talk about stardom for a brief second, right? You talk about some of your favorites that aren't even Japanese talents, though, too. Tony Storm, she was from Stardom, right? Blair
yeah.
Davenport, B. Priestley was from the realm of Stardom previously. Piper Niven, like they all learned so much. Mariah May literally signed from Stardom to AEW, right? Like she had the whole
That
story with Mina Shirakawa in Stardom. So, and then obviously we talk about the Joshi superstars, Julia, who just won the NXT Women's Championship, Io, Sky, Oscar. Like there's so much great talent, and there's even, bro, there is so
there's so many when
many
you think
great
of
women's
Emi
wrestlers.
Sakura. I'll put Maki Ito in there because her stardom has transcended worldwide now just from being on AEW. Like they know her more just for her antics than for even her wrestling.
Yeah, I mean she's like
Like
a deathmatch queen, low key too.
yes,
She's part of Maki Ito is part of MDK with Nick Gage and them, bro.
yep. Like
So it
it's
Nick Gage is like them Joshis are the toughest wrestlers. Like you said, they don't respect necks over there. They going they working physical as hell. There's a match I will tell you to watch, and I'll find it for you and I'll link it to you. That
mhm.
happened the week before last week's pay per view. It is Starlight Kid versus Natsupoi. Me and Mr. Amazing
Ooh.
talked about it post interview. That match is an absolute banger. The
I've seen
homie
some
Uncle,
I've seen some
the home,
Starlight Kid matches. She's alright.
he's a absolute hooper, bro. And then like even like in this past what was it on Wrestle Kingdom too? Like we got to see Mayu Iwatani versus Azume.
hmm
Banger match on a card with like if they would have
It
got
might have
like
been. I think that
5
might
more
have been the
minutes, it could
second.
have been match of the night.
I think that might have been one of it's top five matches of the weekend. I'm sure that for sure. Because I stayed up for both shows, and
Yeah.
it was one of the standouts.
Yeah, man. Mayu Iwatani is an absolute demon, bro. She's so good.
They called
So
her
yeah.
zombie. They called her zombie because she just kept on coming and like it's like it's
Bro,
and it's what it is.
her
That's what it
sequel
is.
it's like, you know what? I wanna just mention it because I know I saw a clip from last week's Sunday review of Dynasty, and salute to the bro Chaos, man. He was mentioning like this is the first time he ever saw Osprey, not Osprey, Okada, and yeah, no, I'm sorry, he was talking about the AEW show when it was Osprey and Okada wrestling. My fault.
Oh,
It
he
was a
didn't
little while
see.
ago.
He's never seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sequence, right? And I'm just like, yo, that's like a common occurrence in these Japanese shows, especially in Stardom, bro. Like they're they're when they get to the finish line, it's so like they move at a quick
Boom,
pace, and like
boom, boom,
and
boom, boom.
Mayu and Mayu's got such a amazing in ring psychology. Like she's so good, bro. She's so good. And I also saw Marigold doing dope stuff. But salute to them, man. Salute to Chi. You are officially stamped by Shad. I will be going to bat for you like crazy. I will think of analogies to say who you are better than in Japan. So watch out for those out there. Okada, Shingo, Tanahashi. None of y'all are safe.
I don't know about Shingo now.
Shingo's a demon.
Shingo was on this weekend.
Shingo's a demon. Him and Takeshita was absolutely bananas, bro.
Like Shingo, hey, old man where?
Yeah, he's that dude. Salute to Shingo. But man, let's get to the next spotlight because you and me are both doing two each because it is the two-man, and we're not doing moments of the week. We're just doing full spotlights tonight.
I mean, technically, it is like moments of the week because all these guys really stood up this week.
You're right, though. We are talking about everybody that wrestled this past week. But I'm gonna open the floor for you, man.
Loophole. Nah. My second one. I literally just got done watching him wrestle on the premiere of the Ashe show. Well, all right, so I broke the fourth wall on that one. It's currently Thursday, but I was watching the Ashe premiere tonight, and the first match we seen, Frontman Ja versus my spotlight for the night, Kevin Knight. I hear people talking about Kevin Knight all the time. I've seen him live. He is amazing in ring. He also was at the very first match of Wrestle Kingdom in that crazy, amazing ladder match with all those other teams that I can't say a bunch of their names, with a lot of them. Amazing talent and young. Impact Wrestling currently has him. I really believe he's about to be a free agent, but this is a guy who I don't think he's in his prime yet. Kevin Knight, the Jet, is one of those. He's in that Javon Evans, that he's not. I forgot what they're called, what he call him in NXT, but Lucky Ali. Like he's in that next up category. Like he's gonna be a big star. High flyers do not come in his size. And the way that he flies through the air, the way that I seen man jump over a clothesline. Do you know what type of hops you have to have to literally clear a man who's already about 6 foot clotheslining you, and you got your feet over his arm? He jumped up and jumped over a clothesline. The athleticism in that is absolutely unheard of. And Kevin Knight is full of that. To see him do that just blows my mind. And he's everywhere right now. But like I said, New Japan this week, Impact this week, Ashe this week. Next week, he could probably end up everywhere else. This is definitely. I don't ever want to recommend people for WWE ID. WWE would be wild to not take a look at this man and be like, you know what, come over with us. He has a star power that I think can be harnessed correctly and be a household name. Because that's all I really ever want, is to see wrestlers be bigger than their wildest dreams. And just looking at him, I see that. I see him being a household name. I see him being a high five. I see him having viral moments. I see him doing all these amazing things in wrestling. Kevin Knight is going to be one of the bigger stars in wrestling. Just give it a few years. My man's got it. The sky ain't even the limit for him. Outer space is the limit. He's out of here.
Yeah, he's definitely out of this world, bro. Kevin Knight is a demon. He is an absolute demon. That dude can wrestle his ass off. He defies gravity. In the words of in the movie Wicked, bro, he is out of this world, and he's everywhere too. Like you said, I didn't seen him wrestle on ROH not too long ago. Obviously, does the TNA stuff, right? Him and Kushida is
Yep.
a tag team, right? Yeah. The
That's what it was at New Japan. They were the New Japan champions, I believe. The New
yeah,
Japan tag champs, junior tag
yeah,
champs.
exactly. Then obviously New Japan and the Independence. You say ID. I'm handing him an NXT contract, bro. Like I think he's garnered more than just
He definitely could do
that.
that. He could definitely, but he is a star.
Yeah,
Like
and like
HB, Mr. Hickenbottom,
yeah,
step into our office. I got somebody
bro.
you need to see.
And you and me, obviously, every Tuesday we talk about NXT and we talk about the men's division and how a lot of you, it's lacking a little bit. They could use some guys. Obviously, you got Javon, and that's the thing, right? You mentioned Javon Evans, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad that we do have the ID because as much as I love the pipeline of the NIL and as much success they've reaped out of it, you only flash the successes. There's a lot of failures within these NIL people, and that's no fault to them. You can't
Mm-hmm.
wrestling ain't for everybody. You know, they don't just because you're the best athlete don't mean you could always be a wrestler. So them doing the ID, these people love this shit.
Mm-hmm.
They love professional wrestling. They spent all their money to go to these wrestling schools. They work in all these indie shows and whatnot. They're here for the grind. And you talk about someone like Kevin Knight, that boy is hustling. He is
Mm-hmm.
working everywhere, and he's not working small promotions. Like you said, he's been in GCWs. He's been in Ashe. I believe he was also on the fourth rope card, if I'm not mistaken, on one of the first ones. I would have
I
to
think
cross
so. I think
reference and
so.
check, but I think he was on there. Obviously, ROH. Tony Khan, you didn't seen this man wrestle on your iteration of Ring of Honor. You know what he's capable of doing, bro. Like you look at the guys like Dante Martin and the guys like Private Party, all these, you know, like Commander, all these high flyers. Like he's in
I'm gonna
that
tell
boat,
you.
if not better than a lot of them
I'm gonna
too.
tell you. There's normally each year there's like a handful of wrestlers that are, the GCW collective shows are coming up. You're gonna see like
Mm-hmm.
a handful of wrestlers that are gonna be on every show. A couple of years ago, it was Billy Starks and uh what's Christian's kid's name?
Nick
Christian's
Wayne,
son. Nick Wayne on every show. Uh Last year, Speedball.
yeah,
This year, I was Speedball, Viva Van, Man Like the Reese last year. This year, do not be surprised if every single card you see Kevin Knight on there. And I look at that as like the highlight that's gonna say, "Oh, he's next up." He's the one that everybody's gonna be watching because that whole weekend, that shows from that Thursday all the way to the following Monday, and
yeah.
I guarantee you're gonna see him every single day, and he's gonna be in those matches, and you're gonna be looking at it, and you'll be like, "I need to see more of him," and that is going to raise his stock. And I'm telling you, I see it. It is written in the stars. Kevin Knight will be one of the biggest stars in wrestling.
Nah, I definitely agree. And yeah, like Tony Khan, obviously Michael Hickenbottom, Triple H, them in NXT. Like, I don't acknowledge the dirt sheets as much, but the rumor is, bruh, if not hit free agency, it's hitting free agency soon, right? And
Mhm.
that's one of those guys that hits the open market that you could probably get him for cheap now, and you could bank on the development and what he's gonna do. But if you don't sign him now, the price is gonna get heavy
This
by the
says,
time
hey,
he reaches that potential.
today's price is not yesterday's price.
Yesterday's price. Yeah. And it's like that, bro. He's definitely special. I would love to see him on NXT selfishly just because we review it every Tuesday. Like I've been like you and I we didn't talked about it in our general chat a lot when we
Mm.
mentioned it. And like that's the name out of these people that have hit in free agency. Even if I'm impact, bro, like yo, lock him in. You could use guys
Yeah,
like him. Like,
I'm telling
like
y'all, and Impact is another one of those. They kind of built. It's funny, NXT and Impact, although are owned by two completely different companies, suffer from the same problems. Their main event scenes are
a
just so thin, and Kevin Knight will be a injection of youth into into your division.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta be willing to just put a little bit of time into him. And I'm telling you, he's got it. He got it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, to your point, is also we got to get today, but also tomorrow's stars, and he kind of checks the box on both of those. So,
Mhm.
yeah, man, Kevin Knight, if you ever want to get on the spotlight interview, man, it's always open for you too, bro. We definitely rocking with you over
Come on
here.
through, Jet. Come on through, Jet.
Yeah, and salute to frontman John. He's also a beast too. I know they had that
Yes,
match like you were saying. He's
yes, he
nice
just
as
had a
hell
match.
too.
My man's is a beast. And great on the mic. Great on the mic.
Yeah, he's dope. He's dope. That's a dope name too. But let's get to the last person on the spotlight, and we're gonna go to the bigger companies. But like, in my opinion, I want to spotlight him just because I feel like he don't get his just due, man. And I'm talking about All Elite Wrestling. I'm talking about what happened this past Wednesday. We had the Casino Battle Royal. Everyone was saying, will it be, Jeff Jarrett? Will it be Switchblade Jay White, going into this upcoming Dynamite, special Dynamite in Cincinnati? I forgot it's like Ultimate Carnage or something like that. Crazy name. With Moxley. And it was Powerhouse Will Hobbs. And he won dominant fashion, man. You saw Will Hobbs as that powerhouse that he is, the guy that I was a big fan of years ago when he got into AEW out the gate, obviously being part of Team Taz and all of that, winning. And then you also see him closing out the show with them attacking um and him going attacking Adam Copeland and going not end of the show, but closer to the end of the show when they attack Adam Copeland and he walks out and he goes face to face with Moxley. And Powerhouse Will Hobbs, to me, is a guy who has suffered a lot of unfortunate events within his time in AEW thus far. I think the spotlight for him was a few years ago, being part of Team Taz, being that powerhouse that he is, no pun intended, but being a dominant force, one of the more agile, quick big men that they had, great on the mic as well as he is too, very I think that kind of gets thrown under the radar. And then, injuries happen. And then you get all the influx of new superstars coming in. It was refreshing to see him given the light yesterday, coming back, getting an opportunity, going against Moxley. Will he beat Moxley? Possibly no. He might not beat Moxley next weekend. But that doesn't take away to the fact that I think AEW needs to kind of go back and, give us the real fans, the real sickos, what we want. These people that you've built homegrown, bro. Like, this is a guy that was built homegrown. People like Private Party, who was built homegrown. You gotta give us what we want, man. We love these people, and for them to kind of get lost in the shuffle like that, it's utter BS. And I want Tony to really realize that he's got himself an uber superstar, man. Like, if you give him the opportunity, if you take the time and invest into him, who is to say that he won't be the next big time heavyweight champion in pro wrestling? Like, the guy looks absolutely like $1,000,000. He works amazing. He can cut a promo if you allow him to. Bro, he said he was going to make John Moxley his B word in front of that man's wife. Are you serious? Are you serious? Like, bro, it's really, really good. And there's so much new talent that, bro, you could meet him versus, I don't know, like Bobby Lashley, huh? Two meaty men slapping me. That would be absolutely insane. Hell, you could give me him versus Shelton Benjamin too while you're at it. Like, there's so many good people, man. I would love to see him and Cope go against each other. Edge is someone who works a methodical, good pace with anybody. That's an opportunity to let him to cook even more. Like, there's just so many people that you can continue to allow him to get into programs with. So hopefully this is the beginning of it, but we gotta talk about it, Drizzy.
Yes.
Because you and me are both big time Powerhouse fans.
it's kind of dope because I've been watching Hobbs since he came into AEW when he wasn't talking for real, and I think he came in to help Mox, I believe, when he first came in.
Yeah, he did.
Uh,
They didn't tell that
and
story though, but they should have.
they didn't. They really should. That's history. AEW. This is why your own Max start using that stuff. But just seeing him come in and the evolution of just being the big Jack Black wrestling guy to a actual storyteller in the ring has been an amazing thing to see. I love the journey of seeing wrestlers get to where they are. And Hobbs has had a long, crazy journey. He's been paired up with so many people, but I think for real right now, it really feels like he's on his own. He's in his lane, and he's got just everything in his grasp that all he got to do is grab it. And I really think this is the first step in him becoming bigger than what they were projecting him to be. Like he always
Yeah,
gave that hard worker. He'll fit in great in the middle of the card. But I really think this is the step that he needs to take to be a main eventer, and he definitely can do that.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it's just what I notice is that I feel like since Hunter took over WWE, I think as much as people want to, put both of them two against each other, at heart, H kind of thinks like Tony Khan, where he loves the essence of pro wrestling. These guys that are just workers. Like that's why he loves Gargano, Ciampa, Adam Cole prior to it and stuff like that, right? And
Mm,
old regime, Vince was more into the
the entertainment. It
physical
was a
big
show.
time dudes, right?
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
the show. He's from that era, obviously. Like, we still banking off of Boo Hogan slamming Andre the Giant,
boo,
and
boo. I gotta do.
but
I gotta every time I hear his name, I gotta boo every time.
but we talk about it. I feel like in American wrestling, in a way, a lot of the big guys aren't as a pivotal thing anymore. And I want this year to be the year to, as a fellow big boy. I want the year to be the big man a little bit, man. Like you got guys like Bronson Reed in WWE, right? You got Obafemi in NXT. You got Brody King. Like, let's let the big dudes also get an opportunity. And the beauty of it is like they can work with anybody. Like, it's not an aspect where it's like you can only pigeonhole them in a squash match type of situation. Nah, this is the same breath of like when you had like a Brock Lesnar when he was on top of the world. Like, he's
Hmm.
able to really work with any person that you mix him up with. And Powerhouse is the same way. Like, I expect him and Moxley to be a very, very good match. And it's gonna take the Death Riders to take him down. Because
Hmm.
if it's clean, bro, like in theory, in kayfabe, like Powerhouse should watch Moxley at this point.
You would
Like,
think that, like
like
Mox,
just
this is gonna be Mox to take a whooping, but I don't know if he's got enough in him to take everything that Hobbs got. Like Hobbs will toss
yeah.
him around.
And it and let dog. So that casino battle royal, and I think Ben mentioned it too. And I want to just touch on this before we close the show out in a little bit.
Mm.
The main event scene for the men's side in AEW is freaking insane, dog.
That
It is insane, bro.
where
Like,
everybody else is trying to find main eventers, AEW has a million.
like, yo, is this like one of the best constructed roster? This is the best AEW constructed roster that they've had ever, in my opinion. Like, like in the last year, they added Lashley, they added Shelton, they added Edge, right?
Hmm.
And then they added Will Ospreay. Like, those four alone are just instant plug and play, especially Ospreay. Like,
Yes.
I don't care what nobody says. That MFer is one of one in pro wrestling right now. He is just this gotta be his year. What they're gonna just strap the rocket on him. They just got Kenny Omega back. He's
Yep.
healthy. Happy to see him healthy and happy into the sport, right?
Mhm. The
Christian
emergence of
Cage,
Ricochet. The emergence of Ricochet as a main eventer because y'all might not want to
Rico,
admit it. Ricochet's on right now, and I like it. He
dog,
got
the swerve with the swerve entrance with the
yes,
that joint crazy, bro. And then you got Christian Cage, who is
yes.
still there. You still got Orange Cassidy. Like Hangman is that dude. Swerve is that dude. Switchblade Jay White is that dude. He is I know a lot of concern was about him when they first signed him, and people were like, yo, they're going to fumble the bag with him. They're going to fumble the bag with him. They got him right. Once they got the muck out of that whole Bang Bang Gang
Mhm.
stuff, he's in a good place. Their division is crazy, and I know we had a little bit of a debate about it earlier in our group chat. Like, y'all gotta give John Moxley his damn props.
See,
Like,
this is where
I
I'll be
saw
ready to fight.
someone, I
This is
saw
where I'll be ready
someone
to fight.
say he the worst male wrestler in wrestling last year in some
Definitely
stupid
not.
ass list.
Definitely not. Definitely not. There's a reason why John Moxley for the past 5 years has been top five dead or alive, and he ain't off one LP. He's been
Yeah,
top five and not five for the last 5 years in the PWI for a reason.
yeah,
In fact, I
and
think 3 years ago he was number one.
And like, bro, I really like the Death Rider story. I like that everyone is gunning for him because he said middle fingers to AEW. That's all of y'all. I don't care if you a babyface or you a heel. We clearing you out because this is our stuff. We're doing it for the greater good. It's a beautiful story, and he's doing some class work, man. He's helping all of those around him. Bro, Claudio feels like an imposing threat. He don't got to talk. He just
He
got to
gotta
go
talk.
out there.
Just go out there, boom, you out of here.
Yeah.
Uh,
The same
Wheeler
Marina.
Yuta, like that. The fact that they have made Marina Shafir into such a monster. We
Star.
haven't seen like she's up there like they're treating her as the threat that they should be treating her as. And I love it.
She is like, and gosh, people might get mad at me for saying this. She's like China in a way. Like how China was with
Definitely built
DX.
off definitely built off the back of it because that's one thing that is like a heel. I've learned from like listening to people like seminars and stuff at OVW and things. What's something you would hate? You would hate to see a male wrestler with a female bodyguard. It just makes you want to hate him more. Like Triple
Yeah.
H, when Triple H had China, the fact that she had this woman like do handling his light work
When he a big dude
made
already.
you hate him.
Yeah.
And then that's what Mox is doing. He's got her handling the light work, and she's clearing them.
Yeah, man. It's great stuff. I think like come on, bro. Mox is doing such good stuff right now, man. He's absolutely like that. He's without a doubt. If we're gonna go back and think who is the best WWE guy signed to AEW, easily
It's Mox.
Moxley.
It's Mox.
Not even close.
You're gonna have to
I
do it.
love
You're
what
gonna have to do a lot. You're gonna have to do a lot to
yeah
sit there and beat him on that.
yeah
Like
like
yes, Jericho's the first. Yes, like all the others will come
Danielson.
in and everything. Danielson's had like the most memorable run, but the heart and soul has been Mox from day one.
Yeah, man. And he's the to me, and I think this was a question a little while ago on a daily on a Monday, but he's stamped himself as a Mount Rushmore guy in AEW. Like I know I'm locking him and Kenny in on the Mount Rushmore without a doubt. Like
Definitely.
that's an absolute lock. And like he's put so much groundwork. And the beauty of it is, man, that dude was in a dark ass place about pro wrestling while he was finishing his time in WWE, you know?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
he looks just rejuvenated as hell back into this man. And he's absolutely killing it, man. So salute to him.
I'll definitely
Him
even
and
go as
him and
far as
him and
saying
Powerhouse is gonna be crazy.
I would go as far as saying Mox is one of the top stars in all of wrestling, period,
Without a doubt. Without a
and
doubt.
has been for the last 10 years.
Dog,
Like the
yeah.
Shield redefined a lot of wrestling.
The debate about the Shield, I feel like at this point it's like so I wouldn't even want to try to rank them. I
I
just
wouldn't. I don't think you can because
you
all their
can't.
stories are so intertwined with each other. They're all different aspects. Roman is who
Mhm.
he is because of Seth, and as Seth. Mox is who he is because of Seth, really.
But
And
even if
Seth,
you talk about the last 5 years, like all three, like you said, Moxley has transcended pro wrestling in his own way. Just what he's been doing for AEW. Roman has transcended pro wrestling into like the mainstream aspect because the tribal chief is the best like mainstream character in pro wrestling in the last 5 years, right? I mean, we
mhm,
can't argue that. But then you look at someone like Seth, man. That man is always he's the guy who's always overshadowed because he is the most selfless dude in pro wrestling because
mhm.
he's gonna do what he does. Like even going against Punk, bro. Like as much hate he got for that man in his heart, he knows what's best for business in the storyline and being the fall guy because he knows people are more excited for Punk at this current juncture at time. Same
Yep.
same stuff with Cody, man. Like same stuff with Roman, like all of that, and like he had his time at being one of the top guys too, but like now he carries the WWE on his back too. So like
Mhm.
respect to them, man. Like you got to give love to all three of them.
Yes. Like you can't. I certainly don't believe you can have one without the other. I was just listening to the story of how the Shield was born, and I really don't think it would have worked if
Chris
Roman,
Hero,
if Chris Hero would have been in there instead of Roman. I really don't think it would have worked.
they would have just been a regular like wrestling faction.
Yeah,
Like
but
as
the
as much as people want to hate on Roman, like they saw like there was a reason they saw the vision with that dude. Like that dude is like come on, bro. You know, like you look at him, he looked like he is a star just off of
mhm.
the stature of his, physique and all of that. He's a big, strong dude. And like, I mean, once
It needs
Paulie
to
got
be
his hands on it,
it needs to be documented how good of how the Shield how much the Shield makes has just blown as so important to wrestling in these last 10 to 15 years.
mhm,
It really needs to be documented.
it does. It really does. I feel like people will have to circle back and look at it like there isn't a wrestling faction that created three guys who became main stage icons after leaving that
And they
too,
created
right?
as them as on their own backs.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
wasn't off of it wasn't they didn't have a mentor, a Triple H or a Ric Flair with them. It was on their own accord.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like evolution. Yeah, like you said, it's not like evolution where they had Flair and Hunter, like kind of being like, yes, we are the two dudes, but these are these two young guys, and you kind of build off of that. Like they came in, like you said, fresh out the gate, thrown in the fire, bro. Like not even with the alligators, they threw them in the fire. They threw them in with Punk. They going through all of that, man, and they
Mhm.
did it in an era of pro wrestling where people wasn't watching wrestling at too. Like that was
Yep.
a time frame where people were like kind of out of the ruthless aggression era. Even me included. I'll be real with you. I wasn't watching like WWE heavy in the teen era. Like after the pipe bomb and Punk left, I kind of was just like, all right, like it's cool. Like, and then that's
Yeah.
kind of when and then I kind of got back into it with the Wyatts, a Wyatt family and all that. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's gonna be dope, man. This was a fun episode, man. We
Yeah.
definitely talked about everything pro wrestling, man. But
Mhm.
thank y'all for watching it, man. We'll be back next week, same time, and keep rocking with us, man. In the words of Jay Uso, deuces, ooses. We out of here.